Have you ever felt like your accomplishments were ever altered or made you feel different about it because of all those qualifiers that have been mentioned?
Yeah, that's a great question, because there were times where, I personally knew what my story was and what I went through, but there were others that perceived that I got where I was because of some quota system, or because I got a buy because I was Black or a female or both. In fact, sometimes that's what people say, hey, you're a double whammy. So of course they're going to, select you. And so sometimes that was really hard, because it was, I worked really hard to get where I was. And so yeah, there were times when that did overshadow things. But I think the way to counteract that is just to one-on-one, as people worked with me and saw what I was able to do. Not to, say I was all that great, but then they could see, hey, you actually did do the things that deserved, merit, or recognizing that you're capable to serve at the next level. I can actually give you an example. A friend of mine who's actually a white male, a fellow physician, and he felt comfortable enough when I got promoted to major below the zone, which means before anyone else in my year group. So I was actually considered in a year group that was 1 year ahead of me. And so the comment was, well, of course you got picked up below zone because you're an African-American female. And so I looked at him. So I gave him a copy of my, we have something called an officer record brief. The items on my officer record brief kind of tells you what you do in your military career. So I had gone to airborne school, air assault school. I was a distinguished honor graduate of my flight surgeon course, which is another course that a lot of physicians don't go to. And I had evaluations from a combat leader. So it was a non-medical, leader when I was deployed to Desert Shield, Desert Storm, which no one in my year group, so that was distinguishing. No one in my year group had gotten deployed to Desert Shield, Desert Storm, because I was a resident. And typically they don't send resident, but of a glitch, they sent two of us. And the other one was actually 5 years ahead of me, so he was already a major. So it's one of those things where it's sometimes disappointing when people say that. And the good news is the person who mentioned that was a friend of mine and felt comfortable saying it, so I could actually engage him. And he actually saw that, yeah, and he apologized. He said, hey, Nat, I'm sorry. But that's kind of what people think. And I didn't mean to just demean everything that you did, because when he looked at that, he goes, yeah, and you're my friend. But, that's one of those things where, a lot of people just don't understand that sometimes you have to look a little bit deeper than the skin to know what the person's gone through and what they've done. And, but that's kind of, it is what it is, as they say. But the way to counter that, in my opinion, is just to do the best that you can. Don't let the naysayers, and I guess now they say, don't let the haters, haters going to hate, as they say, but it still hurts, we're human beings, and for me, I'm a sensitive person. So stuff like that bothers me, but you have to realize, my mom always used to tell me, hey, when someone says something, consider the source, and like I said, it's all those things, are things that you can use, tools that you can use to make yourself feel better. But it still stings a bit when people automatically assume that.